Hello everyone. So a lot of you guys are requesting for what are the key topics for AS Economics Paper 2. I know it's around the corner. So I just wanted to sort of give my prediction. Please, this is just a prediction based on some sort of work that I've done in terms of looking at the papers that came in March and also that came in June and November, and the specimen paper. And then based on that, I'm going to give my prediction. Clearly, these are topics that I feel are important, and I could be totally wrong. So please don't hold me accountable if these topics are not tested. They are really important, so some or all of it will be tested. So that's my prediction. Good luck. Let's see. The first thing I want to talk about is the data response. So I have a great feeling that the data response will be from macro, the ADAS analysis and exchange rate and inflation. And the reason why I say so is because when you look at current trend, they do want to basically test you on ADAS analysis. Because now ADAS analysis is heavily tested in AS economics and not so much in A2. In A2, they look at the application of it, and then the relationship between exchange rate and inflation can be tested here. There is also another thing that can be put into test here, which is international trade. And with international trade, basically the pros and cons of international trade and trade protection, because that is kind of like interlinked. So my suggestion is we need to basically be prepared for a macro sort of data response. And if it's a macro data response, then you are basically limited with the choice, because data response, you need to do all the parts. Now when you look at micro sections, because now we have three sections: the data response, the micro, and the macro section. In the micro section, my prediction is more about income inequality, because that's a topic that has been added. Elasticity and relevance, and that will include your PED, your YD, and your XED. So any of these sort of elasticity can come. There is PES tested very recently, so I have a feeling it may not get tested, but PED, YD, and XED and its relevance is something which is a very popular exam topic. Then the government intervention, I have a very strong feeling that if we know maximum price and minimum price, though minimum price was recently tested, but having this knowledge of maximum minimum price is important. Indirect taxes is important, and then basically the idea that like the public and the merit and the demerit goods, how can we can distinguish between these three, and then using either indirect taxes, subsidies, or direct provision and provision of information to fix these problems of market failure. This is a topic that I feel can get tested, because it's been a very popular topic in the last few years. Now, when we look at macro, guys, my prediction for macro is simply based on the idea that what are the topics that are added and are also basically not heavily tested in the A2, so it becomes a important AS topic to be concerned about, and that is your current account deficit and policies. Remember that fiscal, monetary, and supply side policies are now explicitly added, so they can give you a question about current account deficit and what is current account made up of, and then how do we fix the current account deficit through expenditure switching policies, which is basically your import controls, your devaluation. So we need to know that, as well as we need to know the expenditure dampening policy, which is contractionary fiscal and monetary policy. Along with that, supply side policy become a good evaluation in these kind of questions. Then causes and consequences of unemployment and causes and consequences of sort of economic growth is something which I feel strongly about, primarily because this is added in our syllabus, and because in A2 there will be different things tested, so this is your examiner's opportunity to test this topic. So please prepare causes and consequences of unemployment and economic growth really well. And then lastly, the circular flow of income. Now, we did a question which came in the India paper, which is the basic form of circular flow of income, which is how your question will be as well. So I feel strongly about circular flow of income to be prepared for your essay question. Now, remember, in your micro and macro, you have two questions and you need to do one. So both sections, the examiner has cut down on the choice, and so selected study as we used to do, or selective study as we used to do previously, is not a possibility anymore. So you need to have a strategy in place, and clearly if you are solid on your macro in terms of all topics, and then you focus on these micro topics that I've mentioned, you will be in a safe place, because macro somehow is very popular for data response, though we've seen micro data responses as well, but macro are data responses are more common to be seen. So these are some of my predictions, guys. Please take it with a pinch of salt. I mean, I hope these topics you prepare for and they come, and this sort of guess is all based on you looking at past papers, looking at the trend, looking at what important topics are there, and looking at what is tested in A2, because you guys don't know what is tested in A2, but you know what is tested in AS, and therefore my knowledge of A2 and AS combined together is basically making me think that these are some of the topics I really want my students to prepare. Okay, so good luck. God bless you all, and hope you guys ace the exam. Take care, guys.